This is a book called Son of Truth by Graham Allen. Now, if you're not familiar, Graham Allen is kind of like the far-right version of Joe Rogan. I think he's got like 1 million subbies on Facebook or something like that. He's out of his mind on conservatism. Well, anyways, he wrote a children's book, apparently, published by Brave Books, owned and operated by Kirk Cameron. So I wanted to read Son of Truth. I'm not actually sure what it's about, but it's bound to be absolutely psychotic because this entire publishing company, its intent is to brainwash children. That is the goal of this company. So let's give this book a read, Son of Truth, see what it has to say. Brave Books has this whole world that they've built. Like Freedom Island has Whiggamore Woods and Monarch Mountains and Cabal Island. No joke, Cabal Island. Anyways, yeah, this is a picture of the world that they've built. And they have different people that live in different areas. So anyways, yeah, Son of Truth by Graham Allen and Brave Books. Art by Ali Elzani, I think. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Beautiful artwork, though. I love it. I love it to death. My son, your years at Shivermore Warrior Academy have trained you well. No one is stronger or smarter than you. Now that you're grown, come join me in a Domatron. Together we can destroy Freedom Island and rule the land. Okay. And it's a lion as king at the Resolute desk, I suppose, with a sword above him. And there's like a white tiger who's standing before him, okay? Valor's father, Arthur, sat at his desk writing letters. He often wrote letters because he was very important. Arthur had fought as Freedom Island's first top commander, and although he retired long ago, his words still guided the country. Many great leaders had come after Arthur, and once again, it was time for a new top commander. This doesn't seem like a children's book. I mean, it's not really written like one. Valor had dreamed for so long of being top commander like his father. Now that he was finishing school at Shivermore Warrior Academy, he thought he might be chosen. But maybe another academy student would be picked instead, and Valor couldn't stand that thought. As Valor set out to return to school, his father gave him one last word of advice. Don't be nervous, Valor. Remember what I've always said. Know the truth, love the truth, and chase the truth always. If the truth is with you, who can stop you? Is it supposed to be like an analogy for God, the truth? Son of Truth, Son of God? I'm really trying to understand here. Dr. Hayes says furry version of Game of Thrones. Yeah, absolutely. The furry the furry Game of Thrones. That checks out. So Valor gave his father a hug and tucked the word in his heart. They kept him warm all the way to Shivermore. There's a book series called Death Stalker by Simon R. Green. It's 8 books. Reading the first one doesn't do it justice. You have to read all 8 to really appreciate the story. In my opinion, top 10 story ever to be written in the history of the human race. Seriously, it's that good, in my opinion. One of the top 10. I get a lot of sayings from it. Like, for example, here's one. Discretion is the better part of valor. It probably didn't come from that book. I don't think it did. But I got it from that book. I.e., know when to fight. Because if you run into every fight that comes to you, then you're going to lose some. So if you want to have valor, then pick your fights wisely. Also, every rose has its roots in shit. That's another saying from it, from that book series. And here's another one. When you kick a dog enough, it'll think it did something to deserve it. You guys have to read that book series. It is so heckin' good. Anyway. So Valor gave his father a hug, tucked the words away in his heart. They kept him warm all the way to Shivermore. I would have given him the words, discretion is the better part of valor. That's probably a better set of words to tuck away in your heart. Once he reached the academy, he joined his friends for the last test of the year, a massive snowball battle. Totally, because that's the type of thing military academies do, snowball battles, right? Soon, Valor's team took the lead. Right after Valor hit 3 other students with a single snowball, his monkey friend Jack ran up beside him. You're the best leader, Jack said. You'll for sure be chosen as commander tonight. Thank you, but wait! Valor looked closer at Jack's shoulder. Jack, did someone get you out? Shh, Jack whispered. No one else noticed. I know you want to win, said Valor, but the truth is more important. After all, if the truth is with us, who can stop us? Actually, I agree with this messaging. A lot of the stuff that you find in these books, these brave books, is actually absolutely on point. It's totally correct when taken in its plain context. The real problem with these books is at the end, a lot of the time, they have a section that is absolutely unglued from reality and intended to brainwash children into seeing things the way that the grandparent does or whoever is reading the book to them. For example, there are some anti-communist books out there. Now, I agreed with pretty much everything in the book, except for the end when they had a section that was designed to propagandize to the child. A section full of games and objectives and points and lessons that the child is supposed to glean from these games that demonizes communism. Like, I'm not even a communist. I'm a capitalist. But I'm an anti-propagandist. I don't like propaganda. And that's plain and simple what these books are. So far, I actually agree with this message, as I do with many of them. But we'll see if they have a section at the end designed to propagandize to children. Yeah, here you go. They do have a section at the end designed to propagandize. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute anyways. Let's keep reading. I know you want to win, said Valor, but the truth is more important. After all, if the truth is with us, who can stop us? I guess you're right, Jack grinned. Now it's all up to you, and he cartwheeled back to the sidelines to join the other students who'd already been hit. Oh, this one is sideways. Sure enough, Valor finished the rest of the snowball battle by himself, and he got everyone out. Dude, it is so hard to read sideways. The people watching this won't even realize it's sideways because I'm going to change the direction when I edit this, but I'm doing my best here. From the other team, a mean tiger named Nix shouted, "You won this game, Valor, but just you wait. I'm going to be top commander and you'll be nobody." Valor just shrugged, but inside, his heart beat fast. What if Nix was right? That afternoon, none of the students could focus. The dean of the academy had found a letter signed by Blackheart himself. Isn't it interesting how the hero of the story is white and the bad guy is black? I mean, I don't know that that's intentional. Probably not. It's just an interesting observance. It's just something interesting that I noticed. Blackheart was the most terrible villain known to Freedom Island, and to everyone's horror, the letter said he had a son attending Shivermore Warrior Academy. Is it you? Are you the son? The students whispered to each other. No, I'm not. Must be you. Soon nobody trusted anybody else. That evening, before the dean chose a new top commander, he gathered the school to make an announcement. We must find Blackheart's son and make him leave. If we make his son top commander, they could work together to destroy Freedom Island. The students accused each other again, but Valor kept his mouth shut. Nix jumped on stage and spoke first. We all know that Blackheart is a tiger. His son must be Valor. Nix's words hit Valor like a punch in his stomach. All his fears sprang to life, and he desperately wanted to open his mouth and tell a lie. He was the only one who knew that Nix was right. Oh, he was? Wait, so Valor is Blackheart's son? I didn't realize that. Am I reading this correctly? Am I missing this? But then a rabbit jumped to his defense. Silly Nix, the rabbit laughed. Valor's father is Arthur, the hero of Freedom Island. Right, that's what I thought. Of course, the students nodded. It couldn't be Valor. Valor sighed in relief. Nobody knew that Valor had been adopted by Arthur after Blackheart abandoned him as a cub. Okay, there you go. There's the answer. You're the only tiger, Jack shouted at Nix. How do we know it's not you? What? Cried Nix. Everyone knows my father is a dock worker in Gray Landing. But the other students were already chanting, It's Nix, it's Nix. Before Nix could say another word, the dean spoke up. We cannot let Blackheart's son become the next top commander. Nix pleaded with the crowd, but they dragged him back toward the doors, not listening to a word. Okay, so it sounds like the moral conundrum that he finds himself in is it's going to hurt him to tell the truth, but he needs to tell the truth anyways. I agree. Fantastic moral message. I'm going to be interested to see how they twist it around to turn it into propaganda at the back of the book. Then the dean led Valor to the stage. Because you, Valor, are strong and brave, and because you love the truth, I hereby choose you as the new top commander of Freedom Island. Valor felt the metal fall in his chest, and his heart thudded in his ears. Interesting imagery they're giving us. Here was the moment Valor had wanted his whole life, but he heard his father's words in his heart. Know the truth, love the truth, and chase the truth always. If the truth is with you, who can stop you? The students began to cheer, but Valor looked up. Stop! I am Blackheart's son. The crowd froze. Even Nyx turned back. Blackheart is my father by birth, but Arthur has raised me ever since he saved me as a cub. I don't fight for Blackheart, and I never will. The dean took the medal, and Valor stepped down. Nyx bounded to the stage. The crowd cheered as he took the title of top commander. Valor stepped into the snow and started his journey home. That's the honorable thing to do, and I totally agree with that decision. Valor reached Arthur's house with his hood pulled tight over his tiger head and his heart heavy in his chest. Arthur greeted Valor with a tight hug. We heard what you did, Valor. You have proved that you are not the son of evil, but the son of truth itself. I am proud to call you mine. Oh, they used the name of the book, Son of Truth. When Valor heard this, he held his head high. He tucked his father's words in his heart. They kept him warm on his adventure, and he walked forward with courage. After all, the truth was with him, so who could stop him? Yeah, I'm guessing that the truth is supposed to be like a metaphor for God in some parts, and it's also supposed to be an anti-lying book. Good message generally about anti-lying. I don't think you should lie, even when it hurts, to tell the truth. But I know there's a propaganda angle. Dear Valor, telling the truth can feel like a defeat sometimes, but in the end, it's always a victory. It's better to be a truth teller and rejected than be loved and a liar at heart. Agreed. Freedom Island needs your love for the truth. If you're willing to defend our dear island, answer the call. Journey to Wizard's Way by the first day of fall. Hurry, our country is falling into lies. Anticipating your speedy arrival, the legends of Freedom Island. Oh, that's how they're going to twist it around. Our country is falling into lies. They're going to relate it back to the U.S. somehow, right? And claim that the U.S. is falling into lies, and you, the Trump supporter, have to defend Trump against the lies, right? That's basically what the book The Parrots Go Bananas was about. Another book from Brave Books, written by Sean Spicer. Another psychotic book. Made absolutely no sense. Okay, let's take a look here. To your family, this is the introduction. This is the back where they propagandize, usually. Brave Books has created the Brave Challenge to drive home key lessons and values illustrated in the story. Each activity, a game, and the accompanying discussion questions takes between 10 and 20 minutes. Family-focused and collaborative, the Brave Challenge is a quick and fun option for family game night. Okay, we're not going to, read all of the games specifically or how to play, but we're going to read the lessons and stuff. Introducing Graham Allen. Graham Allen is a talk show host, entrepreneur, author, and a 12-year combat army veteran who has a deep love for America and the values it was built upon, trying to program nationalism into children with that line, right? There's a difference between nationalism and patriotism. I'm a patriot. I love this country. I love this city that I'm in, and I would fight for it. They aren't patriots. They're nationalists. Not only are they in favor of their country succeeding, but it has to succeed at the expense of others, and they have to impose their beliefs on everybody around them, force their beliefs on them. That's the difference, really, between patriotism and nationalism. Anyway, they're trying to program in nationalism here. His discipline and determination as a soldier, combined with his love for his country, have been a driving force in defending its founding and its future. Currently, he's running for Congress, I didn't know that, in hopes of standing up as a rational voice for the American people where it's needed. Surprised that they'd put that in, because that's not going to age well. Interesting how they describe him as a talk show host, an entrepreneur, and an author. I've always wondered what I should call myself. You know, I'm kind of a political commentator, right? What do I put down on, applications for various things? What do I tell new people that I meet that I do? YouTuber doesn't really fit, I feel. Anyway, Graham suggests, have fun with these challenges and games, but know that this is more important to learn truth. Truth is vital, and if you hold to it now, it will guide you through life. Game number 1, Truth Shout Workout. A 6-sided die is what's needed here. The lesson is telling and knowing the truth is always good, but it's not always easy. A lesson I can agree with, absolutely. Here's the objective. Team Brave, welcome to Shivermore Warrior Academy. To be a great warrior, you must be strong in both mind and body. This training will test your physical ability as well as your ability to detect what is true. Before starting, roll the die to see how many points the blue team earned. Record this number on the scoreboard. A lot of these games that are put in here are games that are adapted from church games that kids play at church. So if a parent says something that's true, Team Brave will yell true. If the parent reads something that's false, yell false. If Team Brave answers correctly, they do silly dance moves. If they answer incorrectly, they have to do 5 push-ups. So the parents say things like a hippo is heavier than a feather, an elephant can turn into a bird, kangaroos can only hop forwards. Well, a lot of these are subtle digs at the trans community. The elephant can turn into a bird thing, false. That was a book called Elephants Are Not Birds by Brave Books. It was an anti-trans message. So are they targeting trans people with this? I mean, they're probably targeting all kinds of different sectors. Parents can keep the game going if they think of other fun ideas. Talk about it. What's the difference between the truth and a lie? How do you know? Number 2, in the game, which was easier, when you got it right and had to do dance moves, or when you got one wrong and had to do 5 push-ups? Do you think telling the truth is usually easier than telling a lie? Number 3, do you hear things that are not true at school, on TV, or from any of your friends? Again, they're going to talk about things that they believe to not be true. The parent is, or the grandparent. And those things are, Trump is guilty of taking documents home and covering it up, or he's guilty of whatever other indictment he's had, or Trump has done a lot of damage to the country. This is a grandparent's chance to counter that information in children's minds as early as possible. And trust me, people that buy from Brave Books are doing that. They are saying those things to their grandchildren. Graham suggests it's important to make note of places we begin to hear false things from. This will help us become aware and ready to combat the lies we hear with truth when it's time. Interesting. Like I said, I agree with the overall message, but the propaganda that the parents or grandparents have spent picking up over the past few years are going to regurgitate for the children reading with them. Number 4, in the book, a letter arrived addressed to Blackheart's son. Why was it hard for Valor to tell the truth even when he knew the letter was to him? Number 5, even though Valor had to sacrifice being Shivermore's top commander because he told the truth, it was the right thing to do. Can you think of some situations where it's been difficult to tell the truth? Graham suggests if everyone told lies, we wouldn't be able to trust anyone. We must be able to trust one another, so telling the truth, even when it's hard, makes life so much better. Agreed. Absolutely. Game number 2, Twisted Tongues. Objective? Team Brave will decode the jumbled words and phrases in order to figure out what their commander is truly saying. You'd better be quick. Time is of the essence. Instructions: before starting, roll the die to see how many points the blue team earned. Record this number on the scoreboard. An instructor or parent will read the phrases below to Team Brave. Team Brave will listen carefully to the phrase and guess what is being said. For example, Tigor equals tiger. Number 3, Team Brave has 30 seconds to correctly guess each word or phrase. And they have a list of words and phrases, and they have a list of answers. Blah cart is black heart. T-Mab Rave is Team Brave. You go teat is you got it. Okay, I don't see the point of this. Talk about it. How would you react if everyone spoke like this in the real world? Number 2, is it more pleasant to be around people who are known for being truthful and clear? If so, what makes it easier to be around truthful people? This doesn't even make any sense. In the story, the animals didn't know who the son of Blackheart was, and that caused all sorts of confusion. Can you remember a time where you were confused and didn't know what to believe? Number 4, sometimes people try to speak in ways that are confusing to try and trick you into believing a lie. This is called deception. Can you think of some reason why people would want to trick other people into believing a lie? If you've been deceptive, should people trust you? When somebody's deceptive, what can you do to discover what the truth really is? How long does it take for you to trust them again? I mean, again, all fine points. It's the underlying message that I have a problem with. Graham suggests being able to discern what is a truth and what is a lie can be difficult. You must find a trusted source and start there. Parents can be great sources of truth. And, of course, the parents are buying Brave Books, which means they're extremists by default. This is a pro-Trump series. Anything to espouse the belief that Trump is practically the Messiah. That's what the writers believe. He's a Messiah. A lot of the writers at Brave Books. So they're encouraging kids to trust parents that believe Trump is the Messiah. And then they have a Bible quote here. Proverbs 12:5. The plans of the righteous are just, but the advice of the wicked is deceitful. All right, we got game number 3, snowball battle. Lesson, always tell the truth even when it's hard. Objective, it's snowball battle time. Students at Shivermore Warrior Academy are known for their superior snowball throwing skills. Prove you have what it takes by beating the blue team in the famous Shivermore Warrior Academy snowball battle. Spread uncrumpled pieces of paper around the room. The kids and the parents will separate into opposite sides. Designate an area for players who have gotten out. Parents designate lives on the amount of times you and Team Brave can be hit before you're out. The game starts. Every participant will run and grab paper wadded up to make snowballs for throwing at the other team. Okay, there you go. Here's the talk about it section. Number 1, were you tempted to lie during the game? Example, was there a time you got hit but kept playing even though you should have been counted as out? Number 2, is it important to tell the truth? Why? How does lying affect other people? Number 3, if someone tells you a lie, what do you think about that person? What would people think of you if you lied to them? This is really interesting. Like, think of the parallels to Donald Trump lying about the election. If you threw a snowball and hit your opponent and they lied about it, what would you think about them? What would other people think if you lied to them? In the book, Valor told the truth about his father even though it cost him his dream. Do you agree with what he did? I do. I think that was the right decision. Graham suggests the letter at the end of the book says it's better to tell the truth and be rejected than it is to be loved and a liar at heart. Deceiving others can only bring you outward success, money, status, or other temporary gains. Yeah, that's true. I guess deceiving people, being underhanded and dirty and stepping on people's faces will make you succeed. That's why a lot of the people at the top are scumbags. I refuse to do those things. Refuse to do it that way. If I get to the top of society and become rich and famous, I'm going to do it morally, or I will be poor. I don't even like that he said that deceiving others can only bring outward success. Like, that's not a fantastic lesson to teach children. If you don't have a good heart, that's not really success. By telling the truth when it's hard, Valor maintained a good character, proving he is someone that others can trust. And here's another Bible verse, Proverbs 12:22. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who act faithfully are his delight. Number 6, even after Valor lost his dream of being top commander, he still held his head high when he left. Why was that? Does it feel better when we tell the truth or when we lie? Do you always stand up for what's true? How can you become someone your friends and family can trust? Here's the Brave summary. Valor knew the truth is very important, so he held it in his heart and spoke truth, even when it was hard. Although a lie would have made him top commander, Valor chose to believe that good character, integrity, and truth are most valuable. In life, there will be moments where a lie could get you something you want, but it won't be worth it. In order to be a true hero and a strong leader, you must love truth more than whatever the lie could get you. I agree. Absolutely, actually. I agree with this book completely. It's subtle enough that it could be read to anybody and be totally agreeable. It's just the people that are going to be reading it to their children are going to be right-wing extremists, and they're going to spread right-wing extreme ideas. It was an interesting story, right? Tell me what you think in the comments.